Pretty amazing stuff, huh? Oh my goodness, that was so weak. You know why I can say that is because of the amazing young men and young women that have gone before you guys and will come after you. Our program is only as great as who you are and the work that you do. And speaking of greatness, there's men and women and young brothers and sisters and nephews and neighbors in this room who have supported these graduates. Raise your hand if you are part of the support community for these graduates. Can we just see those hands? Look around, students. Look at all the people who have loved you, who have supported you. So on behalf of the students tonight and the staff on our team, we want to say thank you. Thank you for entrusting your young man or woman to us, and their future is incredibly bright. It's been an honor and a privilege to work with you guys the last 5 weeks. My name is Torrance Jackson. I'm the Director of Corporate Partnerships, and I get to talk to the students off and on throughout their session. And guys, you get one more time to hear from me. Is that all right? Is that okay with y'all? Okay. So for everyone in this room, relationships, raise your hand if you think relationships are key to life. Raise your hand. Right? Okay, that's all of you. Look to your left, and if that relationship isn't working, go ahead and, I'm just kidding, don't do that. But relationships are important. So what we're gonna be talking about today is a relationship that most people don't talk about. It's on the screen, the relationship with, say it with me, graduates, failure. Somebody said God, man, you didn't read the screen. Relationship with failure. Now, this is kind of a crazy topic because we're here at graduation and it's all about success. You did it, graduates, and yes, it is. But if you're going to continue to be successful, we've got to really talk about what failure looks like. Now, in any relationship, if you've been in a relationship for any length of time, 2 or 3 months in, somebody walks up to you, right, graduates, and is like, oh, you dating who? You dating so-so? Man, let's talk about what's going on with that relationship. We got a DTR, define the, okay, man, this is participation class we're doing here. Define the relationship, right? So when it comes to failure, we got to do the same thing, and this is what it says about failure. Failure is the state or condition of not meeting a desirable or intended objective. So when you face something in life that you did not meet, that you intended to meet, there is a state or a condition that you step into. For a lot of us, that state or that condition has actually not been helpful in our life, and I want to tell you that state or condition, if it is not embraced the right way or with the right mindset when it comes to failure, will not help you succeed. This is just the beginning. This is just the training wheels moment, and we can't wait till those training wheels come off and you are riding and gliding into your career. But failure, just like in all of life, is a part of it and can be a valuable tool if we have the right frame of mind. So let's talk about frame of mind and what that means. Now, when I was preparing this talk yesterday, I was saying to myself, I'm like, man, I wonder if there's something in wood shop that kind of looks like a frame. That'd be really cool if I could find something. 20 minutes later, John Carrillo comes in and he's like, hey, did you see what Gio made for Masters of Apprentice? And I was like, Gian, what? Where is he at? There he is right there, looking good in that pink shirt. Real men wear pink, Gio. So all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I gotta go upstairs and look at this thing. And much to my surprise, this was what Gio made to honor Master's Apprentice. Yeah, isn't this pretty awesome? Pretty awesome. So just like Gio, you had to put these pieces together. You had to put this piece together, measure it out, put this piece together. You had to think in advance what the frame needed to look like, right? You had to plan that. So many times we don't actually plan or think ahead. What is our frame of mind when it comes to failure? So actually our frame of mind when it comes to failure oftentimes is like, man, I got fear on this side, and I'm afraid of failure. When I fail, I got shame over here. And definitely, when it comes to failure, boy, I avoid. That frame of mind is not going to help you be successful in the trades. But what if instead we build a frame of mind that goes, you know what? I failed, but how can I be curious about it? I failed, but how is this building grit or resilience for me? I failed, but I'm actually learning to embrace failure differently. So frame of mind is going to be hugely important for you guys when it comes to being successful in the trades. Now, here's something that very few of us do well. Anticipate failure. We go into jobs and situations and we just think, man, I'm gonna kill this job. I'm gonna be so great in this relationship. But we don't anticipate failure. Actually, the most successful people in the world in their training programs, guess what they anticipate? Say it with me, class. Failure. Yeah, so let's talk about the Navy SEALs. Early on in their training, one of the things that they learn is what to do when their gun gets jammed. So in the middle of a fight, in the middle of war, they immediately go back to their training. They default to, I was prepared for failure. How about pilots? One of the things that pilots do and that they learn is early on in flight simulations, what do you do? How do you deal with emergencies when the plane goes down? How about Aikido? Anybody know Aikido, the martial arts, Japanese martial arts? One of the first, you know it, don't you? One of the first things they teach you is how to roll and then, boom, bounce back up, right? Boxing, how to learn to take a punch. So you can anticipate that failure is going to happen, and if we reframe our thinking around it, we can actually learn that failure is a huge, huge part of our success. Now, anybody recognize this guy on the screen? We got some boos over there already, boos. That's Aaron Judge. Does anybody know who he plays for? Man, we don't have a lot of baseball fans in the students. Adults, who does he play for? Yeah, come on, y'all. Yeah, he plays for the Yankees, that's right. And did you know that he's considered one of the greatest, one of the best hitters of all time? Okay? His batting average is .291 for his career. That's pretty darn good. There's somebody that's older people remember named Ty Cobb, a little bit better, right? You know what I'm talking about? 366, but let's just stay on my man Aaron for a second. So 291 is pretty nasty, that's pretty good. But do you recognize that actually he only hits the ball 3 out of 10 at bats? Oh, wait, he's one of the best. That means he misses 7 out of 10 the times he stands in the plate. Now, do you think he goes back to the bench? He's like, I can't believe I missed the ball again. No, he doesn't do that. Because he recognizes that failure is part of it. Now, so let's talk about good misses and bad misses, because you can see failure through 2 lenses. Is this a good miss or is this a bad miss? A good miss says, hey, I showed up and I did my best. I put forth my best effort. Matter of fact, I was willing to actually risk and move beyond fear. That's a good miss. And a good miss says this, hey, while I missed and while I failed, what can I learn? What can I take away from this? Anybody want to know what a bad miss is? Here's a bad miss. You know what? It's not really my fault. I'm going to blame somebody else. Or how about this? I ain't taking ownership of that. Man, I really didn't show up fully. I only showed up 50%. Or here's the crazy one that all of us have done in life. A bad miss is repeating the same mistake over and over and over again. So in your future careers in the trades, you have to determine when you fail, is this going to be a good miss or is this going to be a bad miss? So let's talk about this. I don't know how many people recognize this here. I certainly did not. But this is Chinese characters for a word that they use these characters to describe the word crisis. So in our dictionary, crisis typically means a negative thing. It has a negative connotation. But in the Chinese language, the word crisis has 2 meanings. So it can mean danger, which is what we typically know, but it also at the same time can mean opportunity. And when you have the right frame of mind when it comes to failure, you can choose to look at it like danger, I don't want to do that, I'm scared to do that, I don't want to repeat that, or you can go, you know what, this is something that I want to embrace and this is an opportunity. Let me tell you about a story of a graduate just like you guys from a year and a half ago. Her name is Erica. Erica was 22, maybe 23 years old, came into our program, green, just like you guys, didn't know anything, got hired by a company named Lumen 8 Technologies, right? So they do all the traffic engineering and all that. First month on the job, people are asking, the foremen and superintendents are asking, hey, which one of you guys will go to Vail, Breckenridge, 3 hours away? Man, you should have seen the amount of guys that were just like, oh boy, don't look at me, I don't want to go. Don't look at me, don't call on me, I don't want to go. You guys want to guess what Erica was doing? Pick me, I'll go. I want to learn, I want to be the one. Can you pick, how far is it away? That's okay, I just want to learn. I just want to grow. I'm not afraid of failing. See, when we have a frame of mind that says, I'm afraid of failure, then that fear keeps us captive from stepping into opportunities. But Erica said, hey, I don't even know what's happening in Breckenridge or Vail or all these other places, but because I want to succeed, I'm willing to embrace failure. So when it comes, you have a choice to see danger, crisis, the negative side of failure, or do you want to see opportunity? Now, any golfers in here? Am I the only one? All right, my man in the back. So if you don't play golf, this happens to be the #1 golfer in the world. His name is Scottie Scheffler. He's been #1 for the last 3 years. Here's what's crazy about Scotty Scheffler. He doesn't always start the best. He doesn't always have the best, like, first round of the four. But one of the things that he does better than anyone else is when he has a bad hole, the very next hole, 35% of the time, he has a better score. Did you guys hear that? Bouncing back. 35% of the time, he has a better score on the next hole. That is 15% greater than anyone else in the field, any of his other competitors. You don't think he's going to win more based upon that bounce back factor? So the question for you is, how are you going to bounce back when you fail? When you get knocked down 7 times, are you going to stand up, 8? Right? Are you going to have that? Because you're going to get knocked down. You're going to fail, but how fast can you bounce back? How fast can you say, yes, that happened, but how can I learn from it? So, success and failure. Here's what I want to really make sure you guys get before tonight is over, okay? Success and failure, y'all listening? I know some of y'all are thinking about what you're going to say when you come up here. Just check in with the old black dude for a few more minutes, all right? Success and failure go hand in hand. They're together, right? So check this out. There's a lot of successful people that haven't failed, run from failure. They're arrogant, they're not learners, and they certainly haven't reached their full potential. Success can be dreamy, but you won't reach your full potential without failure. Now, people who fail also need success, and here's why. When you fail, you need to be reminded of the times that you succeeded. You need to remind yourself that, man, you know what? I didn't always fail at this. I actually did this well. I actually overcame this. I actually battled this. Remember, we told you guys, you're here at Masters Apprentice because you've overcome some crap in life, right? So you are overcomers. You are people that don't let failure define them. So success and failure, both. You got to have both. You got to be holding hands with both of them. Sometimes you ride in success, and then you got to anticipate failure's coming. I'm going to learn from it so I can be even more successful, and then vice versa. Oh, let me go back. So this is a great example of success and failure. Okay, this is Eddie from 7 months ago, right, Frank? About 7 or 8 months ago. Frank actually met him at Goodwill. He was in the hot sun, and Frank went up to him and said, "Hey," classic Frank. He said, "Hey, you want a better life? You want to come to Master's Apprentice?" Something like that. And so Eddie's like, "Yeah, you're so big, you'll probably beat me up." Of course I will. And well, anyways, Eddie graduated our program 7 months ago. But for some of our students, and for some of you guys as well, you're going to graduate, and you're still going to be on the hunt for a job. Your old frame of mind is going to say, "Man, you're a failure. You didn't do it. You didn't succeed." But your new frame of mind, I hope, is like Eddie's, who Eddie's frame of mind was, "I'm going to keep working, keep applying, keep interviewing, keep searching." 7 months later, okay, 7 months later, he came in, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, we hear a bell. Ding, 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 ding. They ring the bell when they get a job, by the way. He's ringing the bell. He got a job, and guess what? It took him 7 months, but he went from making $16 an hour to making $23 an hour. That's a $7 jump. So you probably talk to Eddie's like, "Man, it was worth it." It was, yeah, can we give it up? Whoever that is in the back. I like my clap start over there. Yeah, so success and failure go hand in hand. So let's talk about this before we end. Steps to getting a return on failure. Take ownership, okay? You got to take full ownership. Practice self-compassion, and how you do that is realizing that mistakes, it's information and data. That doesn't mean you're a mistake. A mistake happened. It's like, what can I learn from it so that I can grow from it? Remember your big why, okay? One failure is it's what's called an event in your life. It's not your life, it's an event. So remember your big why. And the last thing is measure progress, not perfection. Yesterday, guess what, guys? Yesterday ended last night. You get it? That's over. There's nothing else you can do about it once it happens. So I want to end with a story. And some of our older people, wiser people here may have heard this story. I just recently heard this story. So there was a farmer, and typically a lot of farmers have donkeys, right, on the farm. And this farmer had what he considered to be a very, very old donkey. Okay, one day this old donkey, probably a dumb donkey, was walking along in the field and decided to walk into a well, fell like 30 feet into the bottom of a well. The farmer's like, "Man, where's my donkey? Where's my donkey?" Then he looks all of a sudden in the well, and there's that old donkey stuck in the bottom of the well. So the farmer says to himself, like, dude, how in the world am I going to get this old donkey out of here? Then he has a great idea. He's like, you know what? This donkey's old. It's not really useful anymore. I'm going to leave the old donkey down there. And matter of fact, not only am I going to leave the old donkey down there, I'm going to call some of my neighbors over to bring their shovels. And together, we're going to shovel this dirt around the well and bury that donkey in the well. So the farmer's like, all right, everybody pick up your shovels. We're going to start digging. And here we go. That's how farmers talk, by the way. Here you go. And he starts shoveling. They start shoveling dirt on that donkey, you know. One dirt, full of shovel, 2, 3. The donkey looks up and is like, oh my, shaking, scared, starting to realize what's going to happen. So these just keep piling more dirt. But the donkey all of a sudden does one of these, right? Dirt number, shovel number 6, 7. Starts shaking the dirt off. As it starts shaking off the dirt, it takes a step. It's like, oh, more dirt. Takes another step. More dirt. Guess what, guys? Another step. Say it with me. More dirt. More dirt. Yeah, more dirt, another step, right? Until eventually, guess what? That donkey said, thank you very much, and walked on out, right? In life, you're going to have people, situations, circumstances, and failures that seem like they're just piling on dirt. That's when you get to stepping. That's when you say, come on. This failure, I'm one step closer. Another failure, ooh, I'm another step closer. Another step closer. Now, here's the moral of the story. Be careful when you try to cover your ass, because that donkey might come back and bite you. And that donkey definitely came back, bit that owner. He got a gash on the side of his arm, and he died. No covering your asses. Embrace failure. We're so proud of you, class of 2026, session 3. The future is incredibly bright. Let's go get it. Thank you.